don't impact your feelings about President Biden or President Trump.
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me like you have your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, "There's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I read that correctly? Do you really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Congress Flash. Today we're diving into one of the most intense Senate hearings we've seen in a while, a direct confrontation between a U.S. Senator and law professor Mary Anne Franks. It was fiery, it was personal, and it exposed just how divided things are right now when it comes to the courts, free speech, and who gets to shape public narrative in America. Let's break down the most explosive moments you need to know.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for having to miss the testimony of some of you, and I appreciate you coming today. Professor Franks, let me ask you, I listened to your and Ms. Hemingway's testimony and Professor Turley's, so I got part of it. As I understand it, your position, Professor Franks, is that, I think you used the word myth. It is a myth that the Biden administration used government to compel speech, private speech, but that the Trump administration is doing that. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think perhaps you're allowing your personal political beliefs to affect your objectivity here?
No, I do not. What is guiding my answers here is that I'm looking to see what the Supreme Court has said. You notice that in the testimony about the censorship industrial complex.
I got that part.
No, I just
that
want to
part.
clarify.
No, but I've only got 5 minutes. Your answer is no, as I appreciate it. Let me ask you a couple questions. You wrote a law review article in December of 2023 for the New York University Law Review, and it was about the two cases, Bruen, Supreme Court case, and Dobbs. Remember that article?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In this article, you said, I'm going to quote your words, "Taken together, these two cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy," end quote. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say, quote, "When the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right to armed self-defense in public, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also
Accuses her of giving the Biden administration a free pass while attacking Trump for alleged government interference in speech.
Franks pushes back hard, saying her conclusions are based on Supreme Court rulings, not party politics.
But the tension? You could cut it with a knife. Next, the senator dives into a 2023 law review article Franks wrote. He reads out a line where she claims the current Supreme Court is using the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy. Yeah, that's a direct quote.
And did you also say in that article, I'm going to quote again, quote, "by simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court," referring to the current United States Supreme Court, "has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact as well," close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
Okay. In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
I'm not sure what the current terminology is for it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You try to be provocative on there, don't you?
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this question
let me
is.
show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m. Quote, "The majority of Americans hate women. The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy." Close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this
Did you
hearing.
say it?
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said it.
relevance
Here
of that
it
to
is,
this
big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
But your political beliefs don't impact your feelings about President Biden or President Trump.
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me
doctrine.
like your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, "There's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy." Close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I
Or
read that
let me-
correctly? Do you really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court, is guided by white male supremacy?
I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
and
say
other state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
curb your
seriously, sir.
enthusiasm? Here's my saying, curb my nausea.
I
Thank you.
believe that you should
The
take
time
the First
has
Amendment
expired. Thank
seriously.
you. Senator Durbin.
Quote,
She doesn't back down, she owns it. And when asked about another quote accusing the court of enabling white men to terrorize and kill, she says, "Yep, that sounds like me."
This is where things get even more intense. The senator starts quoting her tweets. One said, "The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy." Another tweet accused the conservative majority Supreme Court of being driven by white male supremacy.
Franks doesn't deny them, but she questions why they're even being brought up in a hearing about constitutional law.
Quick pause. If you're finding this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I cover the moments that matter, without the fluff. Let's keep going. No resolution. No apology. Just the clock running out on a confrontation that said a lot about how divided this country is, not just politically, but culturally. The line between legal analysis and political ideology. It's thinner than ever. So, what do you think? Was this a fair questioning or a political ambush? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more breakdowns like this, no filters, no BS, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to see what's really happening in these rooms of power. Catch you in the next one. Stay sharp.